You ever notice how quiet the world feels on Halloween night? Like everything holds its breath for a second, waiting. Most people think it's just the chill in the air or the sound of wind scraping against windows. But it's not. It's the space between things. The thin layer between what's real and what's not. Stretching, weakening, daring you to notice. I shouldn't be recording this. I told myself I wouldn't. But every year, around this time, someone sends me stories that don't fit the usual pattern. They don't sound like fiction. They don't feel like it either. These are real accounts. From people who vanished, went silent, or begged me not to share what they'd written. You see, wrong. Halloween isn't about costumes or candy. It's about permission. For one night, the rules get blurry. And if you look too close, you might see something staring back. If you're watching this after midnight, you probably shouldn't. I got 3 stories this year. 3 disturbing, detailed accounts that were never meant to see daylight. I thought they were fake at first. Elaborate creepypastas sent by fans who wanted their names read aloud. But then I started cross-referencing the details. Dates, locations, police reports, missing persons lists. Every one of them matched. Wrong. That's when I realized something. Someone out there wants these stories told. Or maybe they want you to hear them. So, if you're still here, maybe you're like me. Curious. Skeptical. Drawn to the kind of fear that lingers. But let me warn you now. Once you hear these stories, you'll start noticing things. Small things at first. Shadows that move differently. Wrong. Random sounds that sync with what you remember from the story. Some viewers say they start dreaming about the people mentioned. Others say the stories don't end when the video does. Still watching. Good. I'll tell them exactly as they were sent to me. I didn't change a word. I couldn't. Every time I tried, my audio would corrupt. Like something didn't want me altering the truth. Now, I don't know if these stories are connected. Not directly, anyway. But there's a pattern. The first one feels grounded, ordinary. Like something that could happen to anyone. The second digs deeper. It starts to pull the mask off, the idea of safety itself. And the third one doesn't belong to any single person. It's more like a transmission. One that keeps finding new listeners. And before you say it, no, this isn't one of those ARG-style videos or some marketing stunt. I've been doing this long enough to know when something's wrong. The last time I read a story, I wasn't supposed to. My mic picked up breathing. The kind that doesn't belong to anyone in the room. I thought it was feedback until I played it back. The voice whispered my name. You might hear it too. So, here's what I'll do. I'll start with the first story. If at any point your screen flickers, don't refresh. Don't rewind. Just keep listening. It's safer that way. And if you start feeling watched, you're not imagining it. That's just how this works. 3 stories. Wrong. 3 nights that changed everything for the people who lived them, or thought they did. These stories weren't meant to see daylight. One of them still haunts me. And if you've heard it before, you're already part of it. Now, take a breath. Turn off your lights. The first story comes from a woman who worked the late shift at a haunted corn maze. She said she never believed in any of this until she met someone or something that wasn't on the staff list. Her message started like this. It was supposed to be just another Halloween job. You ever notice how every Halloween maze has that one actor who's too good? Like the one who never breaks character, who doesn't laugh during breaks, who always seems to know where you're going before you do. That's how it started for me. It was 2017, small town, middle of nowhere. I just turned 20 and needed extra cash. So I took a seasonal job at Hollow Creek Corn Maze. It wasn't glamorous, but it was easy work. Wear a costume, jump out at people, scream a little, collect a paycheck. The crew was small, mostly college kids and locals. We'd set up fog machines, motion sensors, and cheap scare props. Every night, we'd clock in at sunset and clock out after midnight. I played Scarecrow Fade 3, which basically meant hiding in a haystack until someone walked by. The first night, everything went fine. Screams, laughter, fake blood, the usual. But halfway through the second night, I noticed a new actor wandering between the rows. He wore this huge pumpkin mask, crudely carved with jagged eyes and a crooked grin. His costume was simple, just a black hoodie and work boots. But something about the way he moved stuck with me. He didn't lunge or shout like the rest of us. He just stood there, watching. At first, I thought maybe he was one of the new hires from the late shift. We had extra staff for Halloween week, so it made sense. But then, on break, I asked around. Hey, who's the guy in the pumpkin mask? Nobody knew who I was talking about. Wrong. Must be someone from the other maze. One girl said, sipping her soda. They brought in a few volunteers from the next county. I shrugged it off. The guy was probably filling in. Still, every time I saw him, he was just standing there. Not in a scare zone, not on rotation. Always at the far end of the cornfield. Head tilted slightly, like he was listening to something. By the third night, customers started asking about him too. That pumpkin dude's creepy as hell, one guy said as he passed through my section. A followed us, all the way from the entrance. Followed. That word stuck in my head. When I went to check the staff list later, his name wasn't on it. I even asked the manager, Mr. Dobbins, an old guy who'd run the maze for years. Pumpkin mask, he said, frowning. No. We don't have anyone like that. He laughed it off at first, but the next light, I caught him checking the security monitors after closing. The feed was grainy, but I saw the man, standing at the far edge of the maze, motionless. Dobbins rewound the tape, then froze. That's weird, he muttered. There's no sensor out there. No light. He shouldn't even be visible. We both stared at the screen as the figure slowly tilted its head toward the camera. Then, static. The footage cut out for 20 seconds. When it came back, the field was empty. That night, I barely slept. Every rustle of leaves outside my window made my stomach tighten. Still, I went back the next evening. because rent doesn't pay itself, and honestly, part of me wanted to prove it was all some stupid prank. Halloween night was our biggest event. The maze was packed. We were running on caffeine, sugar, and pure chaos. Around 11:30, most of the guests had left. Only a few stragglers remained, and the fog had rolled in thick enough to hide your hand in front of your face. That's when I saw him again. He was standing near the old Scarecrow station, half lit by a flickering lantern. The grin on the pumpkin mask looked wider under the shadows. I raised my walkie. "Hey, anyone got eyes on the guy in the mask?" No response. Just static. I walked closer, corn stalks brushing my arms, heart hammering. "Hey, we're closed," I called out. "You're not supposed to be here." He didn't move. I got within 10 feet before I noticed something wrong. The pumpkin wasn't plastic. It was real. I could see the texture, the uneven skin, the faint mold creeping near the stem. And there was something glistening inside the carved mouth. Then he tilted his head again. Slow, unnatural, like a puppet being forced into motion. That's when I ran. I didn't even look back. I tore through the maze, breath tearing through my throat, until I hit the gravel path outside. A few other workers were there, packing up props. I yelled at them, babbling about the man in the mask. They searched the maze, top to bottom. Nothing. Security checked the feeds again. No sign of him. Just fog, motion blur, and static. I quit the next morning. But the story doesn't end there. 2 days later, I got a call from Dobbins. He sounded shaken. "You didn't leave anything in your locker, did you?" "No," I said. "You should come down here." I didn't want to, but curiosity won. When I got to the staff room, the place smelled like damp earth and rot. Dobbins pointed at my locker. The door was half open. Hanging from the hook inside was the pumpkin mask. I froze. It was still wet inside, warm, even, like someone had just been wearing it. No one could explain how it got there. The security door had been locked all night. Dobbins burned it behind the barn that same evening. After that, I started noticing things. A piece of orange candy left on my porch. A faint smell of rotting fruit in my apartment. Every October, it happens again. I tried moving 3 times. It doesn't matter. I'll come home one night and find a single candy corn on my pillow. Last year, wrong, my neighbor said. She saw someone standing outside my window. Wrong, a tall figure wearing something round on its head. I don't look anymore. The police never found him. But someone keeps leaving me orange candy every October since. And last week, when I checked my new mailbox, there was a note. Handwritten. Smudged with something dark. "Nice seeing you again, Scarecrow, Faye 3. I haven't slept since. There's something about old Halloween costumes. Like they remember things. Maybe it's the smell. That musty attic scent that clings to old fabric. Or the way the masks seem to hold a face, even when no one's wearing them. I used to love Halloween. The decorations, the laughter, the innocent kind of fear that came from cheap costumes and sugar highs. That changed 3 years ago. It was the last Halloween before we moved away from Oak Ridge Lane. One of those quiet suburban streets where everyone knows each other. The kind of place where the biggest drama was someone's recycling bin blowing into the wrong driveway. My wife and I had already packed most of our things. The house felt half empty, hollow, like it knew we were leaving. Our daughter was staying at her grandparents' that weekend. So it was just me handing out candy while my wife finished last-minute errands. The night started normal. Kids in costumes, parents chatting from the sidewalk, porch lights flickering orange. I remember thinking how peaceful it all felt. The hum of laughter, the smell of carved pumpkins, the faint chill in the air. Around 10:30, the trick or treating slowed down. By 11, the street was dead quiet. I turned off the porch light and started cleaning up the candy wrappers. Then, just as I was about to close the door, I heard it. A soft knock. Not the excited kind kids do. It was slow, deliberate. 3 knocks. I opened the door expecting a late teen or prankster. But there was just one small figure standing on the porch. A child, maybe 8 or 9, wearing an old-fashioned costume. A long brown coat, scuffed shoes, and a paper mask painted like a smiling face. Too simple, too still. He didn't say anything, just held out an empty bag. I chuckled awkwardly. "You're out late, buddy. Last house of the night, huh?" No answer. "Okay then." I dropped a few pieces of candy in. The moment they hit the bag, he whispered, so quietly, I almost thought I imagined it. "You're the last one." I blinked. What? But he was already turning away, walking down the street. The porch light flickered once and went out. I tried to shake it off. Figured it was some kid playing a joke. But when I looked back out toward the road, the street was empty. Not a single trick or treater. Not even the sound of leaves rustling. That uneasy silence stayed with me the rest of the night. I couldn't sleep. Around 2 a.m., I got up for water and noticed something strange. From the window, I could see faint chalk marks on the neighbor's front steps. Pale white lines that looked like names. Curious, I grabbed a flashlight and stepped outside. The air was colder than before, sharp enough to sting my throat. As I walked down the driveway, I saw it more clearly. Every house had a name written on its doorstep in white chalk. The handwriting was messy, hurried. The Johnsons, the Bakers, the Lopez family. Every house except mine. The street was completely still, like it was holding its breath. I thought, maybe the neighborhood kids had done it wrong. But who goes around writing full names in the middle of the night? When I turned to go back inside, I heard it. Faint laughter. Not close, not far. Just somewhere in between. I spun around, flashlight beam cutting across the street. Nothing. But the sound came again. Giggling, soft, rhythmic. Like several children laughing at once, but muffled, as if from underground. Then the beam landed on something at the end of the road. A small paper mask lying face up on the asphalt. The same painted smile. I didn't sleep at all that night. By morning, I thought I'd imagined most of it. Exhaustion, stress, maybe nerves about the move. But when I stepped outside to grab the paper, my stomach dropped. The chalk marks were gone. Every doorstep was clean, the concrete scrubbed. except for the front doors. Every single one of my neighbor's doors was slightly open. I called out to them. No answer. Walked up to the nearest house, the Johnsons, and peeked inside. The lights were on. The TV was playing some morning news segment. But the house was empty. Dishes left on the table. A half-eaten breakfast. Coffee still steaming. It was the same in every house. No one. Not a single neighbor. I went door to door, yelling, panicking. Then, I saw something on the pavement near the mailboxes. Dozens of candy wrappers. Scattered in a perfect circle. In the middle was a single chalk line. A name written neatly in block letters. Mine. I remember backing away slowly. Like my body knew to move, even though my brain couldn't catch up. I called the police. But by the time they arrived, the chalk had washed away in the drizzle. They didn't find anyone missing. They said all the houses were temporarily vacant, as if everyone had just gone on vacation together. We moved out the next week. I told myself it was a coincidence. That maybe the neighborhood was being sold, maybe something bureaucratic. I didn't understand. But deep down, I knew better. The night before we left, I checked the porch one last time. On the railing sat a single paper mask. Clean, untouched, smiling. Beneath it, in tiny white chalk letters, was the word, soon. For years, I tried to forget it. But last Halloween, I went to visit my parents in another town. Around midnight, someone knocked at their door. I froze, that same 3-beat rhythm. My dad opened it before I could stop him. Empty porch. But on the doormat was a small brown paper bag, neatly folded. Inside were 3 things. A single candy corn, a piece of white chalk, and a note that said, "You're the last one again." I didn't tell anyone. How could I? This year, I found something new. When I went out to get the mail, this morning, I saw a faint white smudge near the base of my steps. I thought it was dust, until I bent down and looked closer. It was chalk, my name, half finished, and the handwriting looked like a child's. A long pause. The sound of shallow breathing. There's something about old Halloween costumes. Maybe they remember faces. Or maybe they just help something else remember you. I've started leaving my lights off on Halloween. Doesn't matter, though. I can still hear that knock. If you ever hear the frequency 104.6 after midnight, turn it off. I mean it. Don't try to listen. Don't try to record it. And definitely don't call the number that flashes between the static. That's how it started for me. Back then, I was working the graveyard shift at a small independent radio station called WZPR. The Whisper. Catchy name, right? We catered to insomniacs and long-haul drivers. The kind of audience that lived in the quiet hours no one else wanted. My show ran from midnight to 4 a.m. Just me, a few callers, and the hum of the console. Halloween night was always our biggest show. I'd do creepy stories, prank calls, the occasional ghost frequency, rumor, nothing serious. Just enough to make people feel like they were part of something strange. That year, I wanted to test an old broadcast trick, a fake band song bit. I'd heard about it from an older DJ, a myth about a melody that supposedly drove listeners insane. The story said the track The end song was recorded in the 70s by a band that disappeared before it ever aired. Total urban legend material. At around 1:12 a.m., the phone lines lit up. Normally I'd get maybe 1 or 2 calls an hour. But this was different. Every line flashing red. I thought it was a glitch. I picked up the first one. WZPR, you're on the air. Talk to me. The line crackled. At first, I thought no one was there. Then, I heard breathing. A woman's voice. Distant. Soft. Almost polite. Play the song that ends everything. I laughed it off. Ah, you mean the end song, huh? Someone's been doing their homework. You already have it, she said. I froze. Because here's the thing. I did have a file labeled END TRCK BUAV sitting on the soundboard's backup drive. I'd assumed one of the interns uploaded it as a joke. I hadn't opened it yet. How do you know that? I asked. No response. Just the faint sound of humming. It was a melody. Slow, looping, almost human. Then the line went dead. I checked the caller ID. No number. Just 0,000. I told myself it was a prank. Something the crew set up for the Halloween show. But when I went to switch tracks, the file list on my computer flickered. Every song title vanished, replaced by one phrase, repeated over and over. Play it. I pulled the plug on the console hard. The monitors went dark. But the speakers didn't stop. They started playing something. It was quiet at first, just static, low and rhythmic. Then came the voices. Dozens of them, layered beneath the noise. Crying, laughing, whispering my name. Eli. Eli, that's me. Nobody calls me that on air. The temperature in the booth dropped fast. My breath fogged against the glass. I reached for my phone, but it started vibrating violently, screen flickering. I swear I saw words flash between the pixels. Don't stop it now. The sound kept building. Static mixed with faint chords, like a reversed lullaby. And then, buried in the distortion, I heard a scream. It wasn't just any scream. It was Travis, one of my regular callers. He used to phone in every week with ghost stories. I hadn't heard from him in months, not since his last call cut off mid-sentence. Now, I could hear him screaming my name through the broadcast. I hit every button on the board, but nothing responded. The ONAIR light glowed red, even though we were offline. And the feed meter kept spiking higher, like the transmission was feeding itself. Then my phone rang again. Same number. 0,000. I answered without thinking. Eli. The voice said. It was Travis. Or what was left of him. His voice was fragmented, glitching in and out like bad radio reception. Don't listen too long. It remembers. Then a sound. Like someone dragging nails across metal. Followed by that humming again. The same melody the woman sang. The lights in the booth dimmed. Every speaker, even the dead ones, started playing that same faint tune. The signal strength. Monitor jumped into the red. The song was broadcasting itself. I don't remember how long it lasted. Minutes. Hours. Time didn't mean anything. All I remember is waking up at the console. My head against the desk. The hum of silence in my ears. The clock read 3:33 a.m. The studio smelled like burnt dust and ozone. The system was fried. The breakers tripped. But the ONAIR light was still glowing when the engineer came in the next morning. He said every listener who'd tuned in after 1 a.m. had called the station. Not to complain, not to ask questions. They all said the same thing. We can still hear it. By the next night, WZPR's transmitter had gone offline completely. The FCC came in and investigated. No record of any broadcast from that time window, as if those hours never existed. Still, people started posting clips online. Short, corrupted recordings that surfaced from nowhere. You can find some of them if you dig deep enough. Don't. Most are just static, but if you listen closely, you'll hear what I did. The humming, the laughter, the screams, and sometimes my own voice saying things I never said. I thought that was the end of it, but a week later, someone sent me an email. No subject line, no sender ID, just an attached audio file labeled Replay. WAV. I don't know why I opened it. The moment I hit play, my studio lights flickered. My reflection in the monitor wasn't mine anymore. The voice in the file wasn't mine either, but it used my tone, my inflections. It said, "You're still on the air." The power went out. Everything went black. But through the dead speakers, I heard a faint transmission, my own show, replaying from the night before. Except every caller sounded wrong. Their voices warped, reversed, full of static. You never turned it off. Eli. The file ended with the sound of someone breathing right against the mic. Then a whisper. Play the song that ends everything. That was 2 years ago. Now, sometimes, late at night, I scan through the radio just to make sure it's gone. Most nights, I find nothing but empty frequencies. But every Halloween, without fail, 104.6 comes back. Just for one night. And if you tune in, you'll hear a voice welcoming you back to the whisper. A voice that sounds just like mine. I've tried recording it, but every file corrupts. The waveform looks like a heartbeat, repeating endlessly. And when I slow it down, it whispers names. The names of listeners. Names I recognize. Names that were in the news for missing persons. It's happening again tonight. The signal's bleeding through other stations. People are calling in from different states, saying they can't turn it off. One listener told me her husband started humming along before collapsing mid-sentence. I want to warn you. I really do. But it's already broadcasting as I speak. I can see the board lighting up, every line flashing red. They're calling again. No number, just static. Hold on. Hello. Who is this? You never stopped it. Wait, what do you mean? You're not broadcasting to them anymore. What? You're broadcasting with them. I can't tell what's real anymore. My reflection's moving slower than me. I think I'm still talking, but the mic light won't turn off. If you're hearing this, don't stay on 104.6. Don't even pause. Every second you listen, it learns your voice. Because once you hear the end song, it hears you back. And it doesn't stop. You're still listening, aren't you? Welcome back. You made it through all 3 stories. That's more than most people can say. So, what did you think? Creepy, right? Just another night of Halloween tales. Tricks, legends, maybe a few truths sprinkled in. At least, that's what we tell ourselves. Makes it easier to sleep. But between you and me, Story 3 wasn't fiction. No, really. I looked into it after we recorded. The call logs, the missing people, the frequency, all of it. It's real. I know because I heard it. Anyway, you probably noticed something strange during that last one. Some static, maybe. A few voices under the mix. That happens sometimes when we play older recordings. It's nothing to worry about. If you're watching this after midnight, though, you might start feeling a bit of pressure in your ears. A faint ringing. That's normal. Just don't tune in. Sorry, I'm rambling. Occupational habit. Let's recap. A haunted corn maze. A trick or treater who wasn't supposed to exist. And a broadcast that never should have aired. 3 stories. 3 warnings. But here's something strange. I checked the submission emails. None of the senders exist anymore. Wrong. Their accounts were wiped the same night these files were uploaded. We weren't supposed to share them. And yet here we are. Wrong. You ever notice how silence doesn't sound the same anymore? Like there's something underneath it, humming. Faint, but constant. I didn't notice until after that last story. It's been in my headphones ever since. A rhythm, almost like breathing. Anyway, if you heard anything unusual, leave a comment below. Some people claim they caught extra voices during the broadcast. Whispers, laughter, maybe even the melody. I want to know what you heard. And if you didn't hear anything, listen again. Some people say you can still hear the song in the background of this video. Others say it only plays when you're alone. Funny thing, my mic light's been on this whole time. I'm not even recording. Or maybe I am. Hard to tell lately. Oh, and one more thing before we wrap up. If you start hearing that static later tonight, don't panic. It's just the air between worlds thinning out. Happens around this time of year. You might see something in the corner of your screen, too. A shadow. Maybe a flicker. That's fine. Don't blink. It doesn't like when you blink. Anyway, thanks for staying till the end. Really, it means a lot. Just, if your radio turns on by itself tonight, and you hear someone whisper your name through the static, don't answer. Because it's not me anymore. Good night. You're still listening, aren't you? To whoever found this, don't post it. It spreads. The voice is warped. Male, maybe female, maybe both. The kind of tone that sounds recorded through too many layers of distortion. Like an echo that's been looping too long. This was supposed to stay buried. We didn't mean to send it. I didn't even finish the upload. There's a scraping sound. Then a whisper. Username, Hollowed IS92. Long-time listeners will recognize it. The same handle that appeared in the background of that other video. The one we took down after people said it made their screens freeze. If you heard all 3 stories, you've already been added. The system logs every listener. That's how it finds new hosts. A pause. Breathing, fast and uneven. It's not a broadcast anymore. It's in the compression. Every play, every repost, every loop. It grows. You'll see static soon. Wrong. Or your name, where it shouldn't be. The voice starts to glitch, syllables overlapping. Fragments repeating like corrupted code. Turn it off, off, off. You might notice your screen flicker right here. If it does, don't panic. Some viewers claim that's when the signal looks back. If that happened to you, comment your timestamp. We need to compare. This was never a story. The voice says faintly, almost fading out. It's just the next recording. And you're part of it now. Then, one last sound. A click, like a mic being turned off. Then a whisper, low and almost playful. See you next Halloween. So, you made it to the end. Most people don't. They click away when the static starts, or when they feel that pressure behind their eyes. That tiny pulse that says you shouldn't still be here, but you stayed. Let's make it official, then. Type in the comments which story got to you the most. If you dare. Was it the man behind the pumpkin mask? The silent trick, or treater? The broadcast that shouldn't exist? Or maybe the fourth one? The one you weren't supposed to hear? Choose carefully. They say naming a story is like inviting it in. It remembers you after that. Some people do it anyway. They want to prove they're not scared. That's how it starts. Others wait until morning. They think daylight keeps them safe. But the stories don't care about light. They live in the replay, the echoes, the clicks. You can even test it yourself. Whisper the title of your favorite story out loud right before sunrise. Then listen. If you hear that faint hum, that static under your breath, don't worry. It just means it heard you back. Anyway, thank you for watching. Or listening. Or whatever this was. Most people stop here. If you didn't, we'll know.